In 2 days, Trackmania has the biggest tournament ever coming up, the EWC. This year is the debut of Trackmania at the EWC, and there will be a prize pool of $500,000. So it's the biggest tournament Trackmania has ever seen. Today I will rank all the competitors on the tier list, going all the way from the winner to the people who are cooked from the start. Let's get into it. So as you can see, we have 5 different tiers to rank all the competitors in. We have the winner category, only one person can go here. And we have the favorites, who are all people who also have a very big chance to win. And we also have the dark horses. So we have the next tier that's called won't get top 16, because there are 32 competitors and only the top 16 of them will move on to the final single elimination bracket. And you also have the tier that is called cooked from the start, and these are the people that are cooked from the start. Quick intermission, you might have seen that this is the first video that I am using a webcam, so we need to talk about the 3 rules of the webcam. Rule number 1, don't talk about the hairline. I know it might be a little cooked, I'm only 18 and it's already not looking too great, but we don't talk about it. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, we don't talk about the hairline. And rule number 3, we don't talk about the hairline. Well, those were the 3 rules. Let's get back to the video. So let's get into it. We're gonna start out with Bren. So Bren, he qualified through the DreamHack Birmingham. He had a solid performance there. He got top 8 which gave him the instant qualification. So he's definitely very good, because for the people that don't know, DreamHack Birmingham was like the biggest tournament this year apart from EWC and ENC. Getting top 8 there was very difficult. Like, a lot of the people that you see here in the top 32 also were there, and he got top 8. So I think it's definitely fair to put him into the favorites tier. I don't think he will win it all. He is just a favorite. Then we have Elcon. I think he's a prime example of a dark horse. Like, with Elcon, you never know what to expect. Sometimes he performs really well, sometimes he also just cracks under the pressure. So I think he's definitely a dark horse, but not a favorite. Then we have Carl Jr. Of course, he is one of the biggest favorites for this tournament. The 7-time world champion, the absolute GOAT of Trackmania. But do I put him as the winner? Yeah, I don't know where I'll put him. Because can you really bet against Carl Jr.? I think I will. I think I'll put him in the favorites category, but I don't think he's gonna win it all. I think he'll get to the final, but I think someone else will win it in the end. Okay, then we have Mada. Mada as well qualified through the DreamHack Birmingham. He got top 8 there as well, and I believe he got to the semi-finals, and then he had a bit of a disappointing performance. He also won Red Bull Faster, of course, this year. Like, he is on fire this year. He also had really good performances in the Elite Cups. So he is actually a very good favorite as well. I think I'm gonna put him in front of Bren and behind Carl, because most of the time Mada kind of misses out in the finals. Like, sometimes he just cracks under the pressure there, and I think Carl Jr. definitely has an edge on him there. So I'll put him in the favorites. Next up we have Solja. He definitely is a very good player, and he also played very well in like 2023, I believe, when it was the duo format. So far he's done pretty well, but he has not been that great. He had a few good Elite Cup performances, which put him up here. So I will just put him in the won't get top 16 category, but maybe he'll surprise me. And next up we have Afi. He also played pretty well in the Elite Cups, and he's also just a very good player. Also in the Zerator Cups, I believe he always was there. So yeah, I think he's definitely a decent contender. Do I think he'll get top 16 in this field? I think it'll be close for him, but I think I'll put him as a dark horse. I just have a feeling he might surprise us a little bit. I'll put him as a dark horse behind Elcon. Okay, next up we have Mime. And Mime kind of had disappointing performances in the Elite Cups at first, but later on in the season he kind of recovered a little bit, and that's how he qualified in the end. Yeah, I don't know where to put him exactly. He's definitely gonna get top 16 maybe? No, you know what? I think he's gonna disappoint a little bit. I think I'm gonna put him just in front of Solja. And I think he's not gonna get top 16. Okay, next up we have Otak. I believe he qualified through the Elite Cups as well. I don't think he did anything too crazy, but I think he just played decent. He hasn't shown too much of himself yet, but he's a really good player. I think he can definitely be a dark horse, maybe a favorite. I think I'm gonna put him at the top of the dark horses category, but who knows, maybe he'll surprise us, I don't know. Okay, next up we have Gwen. He is one of the best Trackmania players, one of the most talented ones, and I don't know where to put him. Definitely in the top 16, that's for sure. I think I'm gonna put him at the bottom of the favorites. Maybe above Bran, but no, I'll put him behind Bran, because Gwen, in the DreamHack Birmingham, he didn't even get top 8 in the end. He did have a solid performance, he was very close I believe, but he didn't get there in the end. But he's definitely good enough to be a favorite, but I'm gonna put him in the back of the favorites. Next up we have Naiko. He also had some very decent Elite Cup performances. At the start we were kind of thinking it was a bit of a fluke from him, but in the end he really showed us that he was just consistent enough to compete with the best. But where am I gonna put him? I think he's gonna get top 16. And I'm gonna put him as a dark horse behind Afi. Yes, that's where I'm gonna put him. Okay, next up we have Massa. Massa, honestly, I think he's gonna do well. I think Massa so far in his career has been a little bit under the radar. He has played for a very long time, and he is definitely one of the best players. But he never really had that big result that I think he really deserves. So I think I'm actually gonna put him up here with the favorites. And I think I'm gonna put him in front of Bran even, yeah. I really think Massa is gonna surprise us. And next up we have Semco. He qualified through the regionals for the Middle East. He was pretty dominant there, but I mean, it is a bit of a worse region than... Yeah, I think I'm gonna put him at the back of won't get top 16. Or maybe Cooked from the start. You know what? Yes, I'm gonna put them at Cooked from the start. Okay, next up we have Richie. He also qualified through the North American regionals. He definitely had a pretty good performance there. I believe he won it all even maybe. He was pretty convincing. And I'm gonna put him at the back of won't get top 16. He's definitely a good player with a lot of prac, I think. It's not like he's cooked for the start, but he doesn't have the biggest odds for him. Okay, next up we have Josh. He qualified through the EU regionals, which was the most stacked regional, I think, together with the NA regional. The NA regional was surprisingly stacked as well. But I think Josh is definitely decent. Is he better than Richie? Yes, I think so. I think Josh will lock in, actually. So I'm gonna put him right here. Okay, then we have Baywak. And he's one of the two who qualified through the... Oh no, one of the three, actually, who qualified through the Oceania regional. I think he's gonna be cooked from the start. And I think it's gonna be worse than Semco. Then we have Jay Swag. He had the same road to the EWC as Baywak. He also qualified to the through the Oceania regional. I think he's a little bit better than Baywak, but they are around the same level. So I'm gonna put him right there. Okay, then we have Spark. He is, I believe, the only Asian player here. But he's also cooked from the start, let's be real. So I'm actually gonna put him above Jay Swag and Baywak. Okay, then we have Link Max. He's definitely the best player from Oceania. Also qualified through the Oceania regional. I don't think he's cooked from the start. And I'll put him actually above Richie. He actually showed good pace, but he's definitely one of the better players from Oceania. Don't think he'll be a dark horse. So I'll put him between Josh and Richie right there. Next up we have Flimsy, and he qualified in one of the craziest ways out of all of these people. He qualified in like the last round of the NA qualifier. It was like a double finalist situation against Cagney. But that was one of the craziest moments in the qualifications for the EWC. But he's here now. I think he'll be cooked from the start. I'll put him at the top in cooked from the start, but he won't be to do anything too crazy. Okay, next up we have Lingo. And I feel like he's one of the best players in North America, apart from Carl Jr. of course. I'll put him in the won't get top 16 tier, and I'll put him above Richie, but behind Linkmax, I think, yes. Okay, then we have Neil, the final player from NA. He's definitely also a really good player. I think I'll just put him next to Lingo and Richie. Why not? He's definitely a good player, but they are all around the same level in NA, apart from Carl Jr.'s. He definitely had a very disappointing Elite Cups, I believe. He also didn't qualify through the DreamHack Birmingham. And I don't know, I think he's a dark horse. Like, he kinda disappointed until now, but I think he's up there somewhere. I'll put him above Afi. Okay, next up we have Stoofs. He also qualified through the EU regionals. He was definitely pretty convincing there, but I don't think he'll get top 16. I'm gonna put him in the won't get top 16 category, but I'll put him just behind mine and between Soldier. Okay, next up we have Wizzy. And he also qualified through the EU regionals as the first one, I believe. So I'm gonna put him in the top 16 actually. I think he's gonna do pretty well. I'm gonna put him between Paco and Afi. He's performed decently so far. I believe in him to actually make it pretty far. Okay, next up we have Neon. He's a very young Polish player, a big talent. But I think this EWC is just 1 year too early. But he won't get top 16, I think. I'm gonna put him between Josh and Linkmax. I think he's gonna do pretty decently. And he'll definitely be somewhere up there, but not too great. Okay, next up we have Noisia. One of the two players who qualified out of the South American regionals. And I think he's gonna be cooked from the start. And I'm gonna put him between Flimsy and Subco. Okay, next up we have Charles, the second player to qualify from South America. He's around the skill level of Noisia, so I'm gonna put him around there. I think he might be a little bit better. You know what, I'm actually gonna put him at the top of the cook from the start category. I believe he will do pretty well. And as you can see, we still have the winner category completely open for someone to take. And it's gonna be one of these 5. But I don't know who I'm actually gonna put there. Let me actually decide right now. I think Binks, he was the Elite Cup winner in the end. He had a very solid performances there. He's gonna go very far. And you know what? I'm actually gonna predict that he's gonna win it. I think he's one of the best players right now. It might be a little bit surprising pick, but sometimes you gotta take a little risk, you know. But of course it's Trackmania, and sometimes it's a bit of a coin flip who will win. Next up we have Wosal, who also did very good in the Elite Cups. I'm gonna put him not in the favorites category, but I'm gonna put him pretty high up in the dark horses. I think behind Otak and before Alpon. Okay, then next up we have Granadi. He's definitely one of the best players as well. All of these players are of course very good. But he's never really had that peak performance, that peak win in his career. Although he is one of the best players around these days. And he's definitely looking for it this time around. But I don't think he will win it. I think he'll make it to the finals. So I'm actually gonna put him behind Kao and Mada. I think he's gonna do very well. And next up we have Peck, the winner of the Birmingham qualifier, one of the most tech tournaments ever. But I don't think he's gonna win it. He'll definitely be up there with the favorites. I'll put him in between Granadi and Carl. And last but not least we have Epos, one of the best mixed players these days. Will he make it to the finals? I'm not sure. He'll definitely be up there, but I'm gonna put him between Mada and Massa in the end. And that is my tier list. I think Binks is gonna win it all, but of course it's Trackmania, anything can happen. From the top 16, like from these 3 tiers, like basically anyone could win in theory, so it's definitely gonna be very exciting to watch. Yeah, so have fun, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.